Welcome to Daily Conversation. This is Mr. K.
This is Eric.
Yeah, today is the 5th of July 2021 and the time now is 6:17 a.m. Well, today our topic is Japan's aging problem. Yeah, this is a video review. And before we get started, please click the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, so here we go. Yeah, for this one, yeah, the first time when I saw when I watched this video, it reminds me of some of the topics we covered before. For example, the sad reality of current generation, 996, and then DINK, or maybe can also relate it to lie down.
Uh,
Yeah,
what,
so yes, yeah,
hello. Why is that?
yeah. Is it bad connection?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. I asked you what is
Mm-mm.
INK. Just now you talk about INK.
Oh,
What
yeah. Yeah, I think it's bad connection because I say DINK. Yeah, so maybe you
oh
didn't hear the D.
okay. It's a
Yeah,
big one.
yeah, DINK, DINK, and then 996, sad reality of current generation. Uh, and also could be related to lie down.
Mm.
Yep. And then yeah, for this one, I think it has been a problem for a long time
Mm.
in Japan because of the low birth rate, which caused them to have aging problem. And actually, not only for Japan,
Mm.
I tried to find some information, found that actually Singapore is also uh, facing a low birth rate, which is only 0.83. Yeah, which is even lower than Japan. But I think for Singapore, they have some strategies like uh, the the immigrant strategies. Yep, which also mentioned in one of the video I share in Japan. They say the immigrant policies in Japan is not very popular, so they may not have many immigrants.
Mm. You
Yeah,
know,
so
you know
mm,
what the difference? Because of the currency strongness.
mm, yeah,
The currency
yeah,
yen is really weak. Mm.
mm, yeah,
And
yeah. You
the
make the point.
currency of Sing dollar is strong, and
Mm,
you can see most of the immigrants, what is their origin? I mean, what is their origin?
wait,
Which
yeah,
means
where did they come from, right?
what other country they come from.
Mm,
People. Yeah,
mm,
Malaysia go Singapore to work because
yeah,
distance is very near, and
mm,
to, they can back to their country. They can back to their state
yeah,
anytime they want.
mm,
Mm. And maybe in the weekend they can travel back to their hometown, their house in Malaysia, and then back to back to Singapore office
mm,
when it's Monday. So they can
yeah,
do that. So the most people uh most of the immigrants come from Malaysia, and second it could be the mm,
mm.
China, and the third is, if I'm not wrong, is Philippines
Oh,
or
Philippines.
Indonesia. I'm not sure. Yeah,
Oh, I see.
uh one of them is third, another is four.
Mm.
Mm,
How about Thailand?
Thailand, yeah, also have.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, you continue.
Mm-mm. Right. So yeah. So for this one, immigrant policies is they doesn't work in Japan. So this increased the problem further. Yep. And then because of the low birth rate, and then also because of Japan as well as Singapore, they are developed country. So um, along with these developed country, they also find competition, which is something we mentioned in the sad reality of current generation. They find the strong competitions, and then for these things, I think it starts from young, which they need to study hard, they need to get a good result, and then they need to go into a good university. Yeah, for this guy, he mentioned that not only good university, it need to be top university in the country, so that they have a brighter future. So yeah, so we can see even though it is developed country, people still struggling, and then they also face high living cost. Yeah, so in turns, I think because of the high living cost, could be the main factor, I think, for Japan's aging problems, and for the many countries also. Money is the main issues for this one, because they need to work, they need to earn money. So most of the focus of life, they already put on the career. So yeah, so for this one, I thought Dink is popular in Japan, but after watching this video, I found that I was wrong, because not only DINK, they actually didn't get married, which is a term appear in this video called the the the, the lone wolf strategies, or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, so this is yeah, this is Japan. Yep. Yeah, so which I also find that actually for developed country it is like this, and for our own country, Malaysia's, for the birth rate, actually we also have a decreasing birth rate, and now it's around, according to some data, I'm not sure whether uh, it is trustable. It is the figure is around 1.8 to 2, something like that. So we are also at a decreasing rate. Yep. So yeah, at that time I decided to find whether people in Japan really feel unhappy because they didn't get married. They work 996 maybe.
No,
Uh
they didn't work 996,
oh
because in the
uh
second video you heard the
9 to
YouTubers,
9
yeah,
to 5, right? 9 to
they
6.
even lesser than Malaysia, lesser than Singapore.
Yeah, 9 to 6. But he say 9 to 6 is a very uh decent life already. It means that 9 to 6 is already very good. And many of the people, they actually have second job. They they find some other part times. So yeah, maybe not all people. Yeah, but some people, I think they also work more than 8 hours a day.
But quote unquote, if only some people work more than 9 to 6,
Mm.
how can this happen? How can this?
Mm.
all these problems happen. If only some of people they need to work more than 8 or 9 hours a day.
Mm. Yeah. So for this one, maybe yeah, they are just some people that cannot compete well, or maybe yeah, they just couldn't bear with the high living cost.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. So just now where did I say where did I stop?
You discuss their happiness level.
Yeah, happiness level. And then yeah, I try to find whether they this is something that really affects them. And and then I try to find the happiness level. There is a report, happiness report worldwide. And then yeah, according to some information, and this one is just a very quick research, so it may not be accurate. For Japan, it is rank 54. And then I wanted to make a comparison, so I also tried to find look for Singapore. They are ranked higher, which is 31. And then for Malaysia's, would you like to make a guess which is lower or higher than these two countries?
I think it's higher.
Higher, you means that we are happier?
Yeah, I think maybe, but not far.
Hmm.
Is maybe like 29 or 28. But I think this is an old study.
Hmm.
Maybe in 2021, it could be different.
Mm. Yeah, actually, you're right. I mean, it could be different, because the report that I find is something like it is quite new, and it also take into account these pandemic problems. And Malaysia's actually rank 82, which
Mm,
is um lower than these two countries.
mm,
Yeah. So so for this one, I started to think, maybe that is not something really unhappy to them, for the people living in that country, because in Malaysia we don't have uh, uh, a low birth rate. It is not considered low. And then we also we face some competition, but it's not as strong as those developed countries. They need to fight for the top university. We don't have this. And then we have enough childcare center. Our living costs could be high, could be low also. So it is not considered high. I think you can find ways to get it to make it low. And then marriage is quite popular in Malaysia. Yeah, so I think we are quite the opposite of uh, uh, the situations in Japan, but it doesn't mean that we are happier.
okay.
Yep.
Two questions to you.
Mm.
Okay, the first is a big question. You don't need
Yeah.
to answer now. And why this aging problem arise?
Mm.
Okay, why is the root cause factor? Yeah,
Mm.
first question. And the
Yeah.
second question is, just now you compare Malaysia and Japan.
Yeah.
In Malaysia, the birth rate still positive.
Mm.
Also, people seek for marriage, okay, and we don't have much competitions,
Mm.
and our living cost is not that high, okay. And then I need to ask you a question, which is, if a country, if the people in the country prefer marriage or maybe prefer some things, does it mean that the people in that country is happier?
Mm.
And
this
could it,
is the second, right?
yeah, this second.
Mm.
And the extension here is could it become could it because of the education level different? You see, Malaysia has so many stupid girls, stupid guys,
Mm.
especially now. MCO, we can see a lot of Malays, and yeah, yesterday I just saw a Facebook video, and this is impossible. Yeah, I'm not sure when they films the video, and it's impossible, and there's a streak, and we know in the past impossible in evenings,
Mm.
a lot of food seller, they will sell their food
Yeah.
something like the
Night
in
market.
yeah, night market. In Malaysia we call it pasar malam. Yeah, so
Yeah.
and a lot of seller will sell their food on the street, and there are a lot of food stores, there are a lot of seller, a lot of store there, and then
Yeah.
and yeah, you can and definitely you can know there are a lot of people on the street, which is the visitor, which is the people want to like shopping and buy the food,
Yeah.
buy the stuff. Yeah, and guess what? In the video, what I saw in the video is there are two officer. There are two officer taking a paper which contain the safe entry. Yeah, maybe one stands stands maybe one guard. Yeah, guard at the left hand side of the left of the street, and maybe another one guard at the right of the street.
Okay.
So ensure people coming in, they can scan the safe entry. They can like check out, check out. Yeah. How about the people? Yeah. there's there's no social. What is that called? The social.
Social distancing, right?
Yeah, social distancing or social like safe distancing, which is like no. People. Yeah, people are grouped together, and they can because of video from the from the from the scenes from like the top to the bottom, and we can see I can only see their head. Yeah, I can only see the head of all the people,
Yeah.
and this is so many people. No, and the officer just and the officer take the safe entry. Yeah, ask you to check in, ask you to check out.
Yeah.
But how social safe distance? Yeah, and also in Malaysia there are a lot of news that those officers they eat durian, together, and there is no social distancing.
Yeah.
And they still want to cheat. They want to cheat the public. This is the fourth one last year. This and then after the public, after some people spot the line, and then they they apologize.
Yeah.
And you can see the education level is really the gaps of the education level is really huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So could it because it's just about awareness? The public still haven't realized something.
Yeah. Yes.
They're still in the red race. But they didn't realize that they are in the red race.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, so it is related to the second question, right? Whether getting married will make us happier, is it? Yeah. Yeah, for this one, I don't know, but it seems like for many people, marriage is something like things that in their plan, in their life plan. Um, yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Why it must be in their life plan, right?
Mm, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, how about the first questions?
The main factor of aging problem.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, if we say the factor for this problem is obviously the low birth rate, and
No, no.
then behind this, it is uh because of I
Okay,
think it's, yeah.
yeah, if you say the cause is the low birth rate, then I will
Mm,
also ask you, what is the cause of the low birth rate?
yeah. So the reason behind I think is the um is money is yeah, it's money because they want to make money. They pursue the high quality of life. So so in this case they need to uh sacrifice some other things, and they need to focus on their work.
Is the quality level of the life they pursue really that high?
Um
You see, for example, in
mm,
Singapore,
yeah.
you can work hard and you can buy a house, maybe subsidized by the government, or maybe you
Mm,
buy from the second uh, reseller market.
mm,
But if you buy the house from a reseller market, it will be more expensive.
yeah.
And then if you buy the house from government, of course you need to fulfill some criteria.
Mm,
Maybe more than 35 years old, still
yeah.
single, maybe, and also
First
uh,
house.
first house, and also you cannot sell your house within 10 years, something like
Mm,
that. Mm.
yeah.
And then how much, what's the cost of the house? Maybe around 300 plus, or maybe I think it's 200 plus, because my colleague uh, told me before. The
Mm,
new house now is around 200 plus Sing dollar.
mm,
This is not, and this is the HDB, so it's
mm,
something like apartment. Mm.
yeah.
And what's the tenure? It's 99 years. Yeah, it's 99 years.
Mm,
99 years. Mm.
yeah.
So it is not forever. Yeah,
Mm,
and you don't have land, because this is not a landed house. This is something like the apartment. The
yeah.
hash- Mm. Yeah. So yeah, the house is not that, the space of the house is not that big. Mm. So I think maybe it's around 1,000 square feet.
Mm,
It's around that. Mm. And you don't have a kitchen plus a dining space.
mm,
In Malaysia, normally we have,
yeah.
and then where they eat the food, maybe in the room or maybe in the living room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they don't have something like the dining space. Mm.
Mm,
And the kitchens is not big. Okay.
mm,
So and you can and the space beside of the room, for example,
mm,
toilet,
yeah.
bathroom, and also other room, and then it's just the street, and it's just something like the street. So allow you to walk. So it's something
Mm,
like that. You
yeah.
can imagine. Mm, mm. So the house is not big, and then people need to work hard in order to buy this kind of house, and it is not. It's 99 years. It's
Mm,
not for. It's not like the freehold, it's a leasehold.
Yeah.
And then how much you need to, how many times, how many years you need to spend in order to buy the house like this.
Mm.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you measure the space, the
Mm.
space you can control as one of the measurements of the life quality.
Mm.
Because of course we humans don't like to live in a small room, a small space. So
Mm.
it also one of the measurements of the quality.
Yeah.
If you measure this, yeah. So this not that the quality is not that high actually.
Mm.
Mm.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. So yeah. So it could be the high living cost, is it?
Mm.
Because even though the space is not big, but it didn't seem to be cheap also.
Mm.
Yeah. So is the living cost is already high.
Yeah.
Mm.
What is the root cause of the living? What is the root cause of the high living cost?
Mm. Yeah, for housing, I think is because um um maybe it's the demand and supply. People the supply of the house in some developed countries, especially in the big cities, we call them maybe tier one cities or tier two cities. Uh, it is limited and people are so crowded.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, so this make the housing price maybe skyrocket.
Mm. Yeah. And then why it could be happens? Why everyone want to comes into the big city? Mm.
Hmm. Yeah, it's for job for yeah to make money.
Mm. Couldn't they survive if they didn't if they don't want or don't want to don't want to go to the big cities?
Mm, for survive, I think of course they can survive because otherwise people uh in small city uh cannot 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 cannot
Yeah.
live anymore.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's the something like the uh yeah they couldn't make so much money in in a smaller city.
And then how about housing in those small cities? Is it
Uh,
high or low?
sorry, can you repeat?
House price in small cities
Uh, house price.
in countryside.
Countryside. Actually, I'm not sure in developed country, but I think
How about in Malaysia?
Malaysia's it is much lower. The
Uh, do,
price is
do you know what is the housing? Do you know what is the house price, average house price in big cities? And we discuss what is big cities in house,
yeah,
for example, like the KL,
Kuala
JB.
Lumpur.
Mm.
Yep. If say for Kuala Lumpur, yeah, I know there are a lot of houses and I think it's near to a million if you say average or maybe higher than million.
Are you talking about something like the two storage house? We have the ground floor, we have the second floor, or are you talking about something like the single story house?
I think for single story is also quite expensive if they are in the big cities and they're near to some MRT station. It also is also very expensive.
Yeah. And then how about the countryside? We are not talking about the small towns, the
Hometown.
thing like we talk about like still things like Johor Bahru.
Mm. Yeah, for Johor Bahru, I think uh average maybe we've got 30K, sorry, 300K like that.
Okay, I do a quick research. I go to the Muda.my and
Okay.
I choose the location as Kuala Lumpur, and then I choose the property for sale. And I choose, okay, I just choose apartments. Okay.
Apartment.
Okay. And it seems like the price 250 to 500,000. 250,000 to 500,000 is a range like this.
Yeah. Yeah, this is for apartment and also condominium.
Yeah. And then if I change the location to Johor Bahru, okay, let's say I change the is there Johor Jaya? Yeah, never mind. I just in a minute. Let me think, because I afraid if I choose Johor Bahru, they include the JB town. Yeah. This will be not the case. Because I click Johor Bahru, there are some others, some other area. The most popular area I saw is the Larking. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't see much difference actually. At least
Little bit lower. A little bit lower.
but the difference is not that much. So if I change other property, let's say I change the house instead of apartment. Yeah, Johor Bahru double story is around. Yeah, the price is the gap, the difference, the price is quite huge, but I can saw is around 400 to 500,000. Yeah, you can get new house here. And then if I change to Kuala Lumpur,
Yeah.
yeah, it's also quite similar. It's also quite similar.
Yeah.
Okay, if I change to like the popular cities in Kuala Lumpur, let's say I change to, I think KLCC. Yeah, KLCC should be, or maybe KL Central. KL Central should be the central center of the KL, right?
Yeah.
So if I change to KL Central, yeah, it's
Yeah, it's so limited, is it?
yeah, so limited. But
Of-
one of the okay, if I change to others, I change like how about I change to the design? Yeah, Mid Valley City.
Okay.
This is bungalow. Bungalow is not the single story house. Okay. If I change to KL City, yeah, result is yeah, there's 2 page. Okay, if I change to KL Cities, the bungalow of course is more than millions. Yeah, the land is so big. Single storage I saw, yeah, there's 500 plus K. And 2 storage is around millions, but less than million.
Yeah.
And also I saw one single story, and this is second-hand house. It's around 600K. If I go to the second page, yeah, one of the single storage is also 500K, but the house is really old. Yeah, so new house is really around I think it's 700 to 800. Yeah, it's just if I make some adjustments, yeah, it's something like 700, 800. Okay.
You mean a newer one or a brand new house?
Newer ones. Yeah,
Oh,
newer.
I see.
Yeah. So there's difference, but it's not that much, especially for the apartments.
Yeah.
So yeah, you still can buy apartment if you want, or maybe
Yeah.
rent. Yeah. And just now we talk about the housing price.
Mm.
And then okay, I would like to talk about the housing price to income ratio.
Okay.
And I can show you a link. This is link I saw yesterday. And okay, this is actually, if you click inside the link, it's actually there are some information like the housing price at countryside, price in the cities, and also the income level.
The range of the income.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can see.
Wait a minute. How come the currency is not in ringgit? This
This
is in Japan. Oh, I
Mm.
see. Okay.
Mm.
All right. Per month.
Yeah, and the average monthly net salary after tax is around 300K yen. But actually, we know that most of people didn't earn the average salary. Now in Singapore, the average salary is 4,500 Sing dollar. But how many people can earn 405,000 Sing dollar? In Malaysia, if I'm not wrong, the average salary is around 4,000 to 5,000. And what you pay for in order to earn 4,000 to 5,000.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is about the average, quote unquote. This is the average. Yeah, but never mind. We can use this average to calculate. Okay. Let's say, and then we use the price. This is per square meter, and outside the central, the apartment outside the central, and this is around 500K. And then we also need to know most people who are able to earn the average salary are in the big cities, and not in the smaller cities.
Yeah.
So we kind of use the income in big city and not many people able to get, and also the house price outside of the cities. Just like in the past, we also make some calculations based on this. In China, we pick the lowest price,
Yeah.
lower house, and also we pick the average salary, and then we kind of like round up to 10,000 yuan, 10,000 yuan per month. And also the difference. You also need the a few decades in order to buy a house. And then how about in Japan? Okay, and this is a square meter.
Yeah.
And I use my house. My house is 20 times 70 square
Okay.
feet. Okay, and square feet to
Oh, need
square
to
feet
convert the unit.
to square meter is around, if I'm not wrong, yeah, because in the past we have some calculations, and this is
0.09.
0.29. If
Yeah.
I'm not wrong, 0.0929. Yeah. Okay, and then I use 1440, which is 20 times 70, which is my house
Okay.
in JB.
So it's
1440.
130, is it? Square meter.
Yeah, 134. If we round up, 130. Okay, 134. If we times, actually no need to calculate because you can see the difference. Because you see what's the difference. The the money salary. Okay. Okay, 134 times 500. You just use 500 plus outside the apartment outside the central, and 67 million yen.
Yeah.
Okay, Japan yen. And then if we divide that by 310K, okay, then we times another 12 months. So we make it to,
Yes, right.
sorry, I think we should divide that by 12 months. Okay, so you need around 18 years.
18 years.
So your income after tax, yeah, and you don't need to eat, you don't need to stay. Yeah, you just use all the money. But you need 18 years in order to buy a house.
Yeah.
And you didn't, and this is, you didn't pass the interest rate, you didn't pass the interest.
Yes.
Yeah. If you pass the interest, the price could be higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though the interest rate is low, it's 1 point, like 1.5, 1.4. But if we add up the interest, it could be a huge amount, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we all know our saving to net salary ratio is not high. Not many people can the ratio for this ratio for many people cannot more than 50%.
Yeah.
They need to pay the rental, they need to buy the food, they need to cover their daily expenses. If there's a family, if they have family, yeah, it's impossible.
Mm.
If they but if they choose think, maybe it's possible.
Yeah.
Okay, and you can see. Then how about Malaysia? How about Malaysia? Okay, because my house, the house, the housing price is actually part of the housing price subsidized by the government.
Mm.
And if I exclude the government subsidized, it's actually 196,000 the housing price for my house unit.
Yeah.
So let's say I use I round up. I use 200K.
Yeah.
Okay, 200K. If I divide it by our average salary is around, let's say I better do research first. Okay, Malaysia average salary.
Yeah, actually, you can use the same website to find
Really?
out the information in Malaysia.
Really?
Yeah, but I doubt whether because I do some simple calculations, I found that the house price is so expensive. So maybe you can try it. You can select the city to Johor Bahru, Malaysia.
Yeah, I choose to Johor Bahru, Malaysia, and it mentions the salary after tax is around 3,600.
Yeah.
Okay, 3,600, and yeah, and you can you already can see the difference. Sorry, no, you can't see the difference because the price of the apartment here is measured per square feet. Okay,
Per square
yeah, this
square
is
meter, is it?
no. I saw it per square feet.
Oh, so strange. Because from
Okay,
here,
as a price you saw.
5,567. This is outside the center.
Okay, yeah,
Mm.
never mind. I think this is. Oh, I think maybe I can change. No, I couldn't change. Okay, never mind.
So yeah, it's okay. Just use the square feet if you.
So if
Yeah.
I use 20 times 7 square feet, which is 1440. Okay,
Mm.
it's around 700K. Wow. This is not, yeah, it's not accurate actually.
Yeah.
But never mind, we just use the figure they give us 700 plus. If I divided by 3,600, and then if I divided another 12 months, so 17 years. Yeah, so based on the website, yeah, not much difference. And actually it could be worse because our interest rate is actually higher than the 4.3%.
Yeah.
So okay, I'm not sure whether we can trust these websites because it overstates the JB ones, the Malaysia one, and I'm not sure whether it also overstates the Japan's ones. Okay, yeah, and if both of if they overstate everything, and we're also not sure what's the how much they overstate. So we couldn't get an answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if in this scenario, let's say Malaysia, the housing price increased to this level, 700 plus thousand, and you need to work for so long in order to buy a house. And if that's the case, I think Malaysia and Malaysians will also like want to get married.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this is about the living cost. And actually, I did some research yesterday. I found that Japan is actually experience deflation, which means the recession of the economy. So the price of everything keep falling. Of course, the wage also keep falling.
Yeah.
But the price of things is still expensive. if you compare the cost, just about the cost, compare Japan to Malaysia, Singapore, the living cost is really, really huge. Have you heard about some of your friends say they want to go to Japan to travel, and then the price is very expensive? For example, like meat. Yeah, if you go to a restaurant and order meat, it will cost you around 30 Malaysian ringgit.
Oh, just for a plate of noodles.
Yeah, the noodle.
Oh, wow.
And this is few years ago. I'm not sure whether now is lower or higher. Maybe remain unchanged because the economy is recessions, inflation environment. Yeah. And I also found that actually the housing price dropped a lot over the decades. Yeah. And from the article, I saw the price drop more than 50%. I'm not sure whether it's true or false.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's still high. Actually, now it's still high.
Yeah. So it is like lower house price, but also a lower salary, is it?
Yeah, in deflation, it's like this. In deflations, maybe the unemployment rate is high, and then you couldn't get a good salary. The wages are out, and company cannot earn a lot of money, and then bankruptcy rate increase, and then the price of everything fall.
Yeah.
Yeah. But one of the issue in Japan is the national debt is really, really high.
Yeah.
And also, Bank of Japan's BOJ, they print a lot of money. They do a lot of QE. They want to stimulate the economy, but it couldn't. We want to change the economy and also change from deflation to inflation.
Yeah.
The Bank of Japan's targets actually 2% inflation rate, but but no matter how much money they print, this is in deflation, like negative 0.5%. I'm not sure whether they're using the CPI or some other indicator for the inflation. And yeah, they print a lot of money, a few trillion. And yesterday I saw one video. This is filmed by a few years ago. This is 3 years ago. In that video, it mentioned that Bank of Japan actually owned 40% of Japan government bonds.
Oh, okay.
You know what it means? So because we know central bank is one entity, and then the government is also one entity.
Yeah.
Yeah, normally this is a separation, and government cannot control the central bank. Central bank also can control the government. And if government want to finance, you want to do some spending, let's build some railway, highway, anything, and then he wants some money, he can finance from its source, from the income source, which is the taxation. But normally the governments are not able to do that. We just little taxation we just little tax collections, and it will ask the central bank, yeah, whether you want to buy my debt. I want to issue bonds, and then Bank of Japan, they'll buy the government bonds. Of course, everyone can buy the government bonds.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then now the case is Bank of Japan. Okay, the circulation of the Japan's government bond.
Yeah.
Okay, the circulation of course 100%, right? But Bank of Japan owned 40%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you see that it is something like, because yeah, even though there's a separation, but they are the same. They still control on the few hands, and those few hands are able to influence both of them. So on the left hand, you say you want money, and then you ask your right hand to give you some money, and then you spend, like create the money from thin A.
Yeah.
And then you get the money, you spend. And then in the market, and then the Bank of Japan buy the debt. So this is something like create the money out of thin A. And how about the interest rate of the bond? Yeah, in short term, like if I'm not wrong, is 1, 3, 5, 10. Yeah, 1 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years is negative. All is negative.
Oh.
And then like 30 years is positive 0.5%. This is like 2 years ago or 3 years ago data. Because they are doing the yield curve control. Yeah, they are doing the yield curve control, which means it's similar to the QE. They want to keep the rate as low as possible, so there's no people want to buy the bond. They don't have place to save their money, to park their money, so they have to spend, they have to do investment in other place instead of buying the bond. So they want to keep the price of the bonds as high as possible, so that the interest rate, the market interest rate could be very, very low.
Oh.
Yeah, for example, if the bond interest rate is 4%, you would like to save your money. You would like to buy the bonds because you can get interest rate. But if they do yield curve control, the Bank of Japan, so the central bank, buy the bonds from the market, and then bring up the price and bring down the interest rate, bring down market interest rate, and then you don't want to park your money anymore. Because maybe the interest rate is 0.5%, or maybe even go to negative. Then what's the reason you want to park your money there?
Yeah.
Yeah, when the bond mature, and then you need to return 0.5% to to the government, which is the issue of the bonds. So it doesn't make sense. So you want to sell. And then another statistic is the volume of the government bonds
Yeah.
in the market, and the trading the trading volume keep decreasing. Yeah, keep decreasing. So it actually means what? What it means? It actually means that no people want to buy the bond, so that the trading volume is so low.
Yeah.
Then who is a person buy the bond? Only central bank. Yeah, only central bank buying the bonds. Nobody, they nobody want to buy the bond anymore. Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's only buyer. Yeah. Yeah. So, and then the Bank of Japan, they want to print a lot of money, and then they want to force the commercial bank lend out the money. Yeah, hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to force a commercial bank in Japan lend out the money to the business, to the individual, or else. And but the individual, the business, they don't want to take the loans, because they know the economy is in recession. Even they take the borrowing, they take the loans, they couldn't pay back in future. Even though the interest rate is low, but they take the money, they still need to pay the interest, because the interest is not negative. There's no such free runs. You can take the loans and then the bank will give you money every year.
Yeah.
So they borrow the money, they need to pay the interest, and then what's the point? They borrow the money if they don't have any investments to do. And also if they know the investment they make cannot get back the money. So the present value, the net present value of investment is actually negative. So they couldn't get any positive NPV from project. So there's no point to borrow money.
Yep.
Yeah. So it become a downward spiral. Yeah. And then what Bank of Japan do is it keep trying to intervene and trying to control the monetary policy, and then also the fiscal policy. Yeah. And some economics say that it could make worse. Yeah, it actually could getting worse.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what I found.
Yeah. So is there any possible chance that the market can be stimulated and then go opposite direction from the recession?
Some economists say there's no chance anymore. And
Yeah.
if you want to do that, this is there's a long way. Yeah, there's a lot of things to do. It's long way to go, because you need to solve the social welfare, and it also include in the video. It talk about the social welfare, and also you need to like retrain the employer, the employee. You need to give them the job opportunity, and you need to change the education systems. Yeah, a lot of things to do. And maybe you also need to incentivize other people to give birth. Maybe give more money to. I'm not sure. It's some because it seems like it is a different version of the UBI. Because if you print money
Yeah.
and spend it on the social welfare, it's also similar to you print money and give to the public directly. Yeah, it is the
Yeah.
different of the UBI. And
Yep.
for the UBI, for the MMT, yeah, Bank of Japan's do the QE for decades. Yeah. And and US is not the first country start to do QE. Yeah. And actually US saw Japan do the QE so long time and the inflation rate didn't increase. So US start to do. And before 2008, the financial crisis, Japan already start to do QE. And it did the QE like more than 10 years or more than 15 years. Yeah. But the economy is still in recession. Still in deflation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see the monetary policy already lose the already lose the effectiveness.
Yeah.
Because they already make the interest rate zero. And then what can they do further? Just printing more money. You print a lot of money, but people don't want to pay.
Yeah.
And you send money to them. Yeah, it could solve the problems. I'm not sure. Because this is like the MMT UBI discussions, and nobody knows whether it can be worked.
Yeah.
If it can be worked, it is so strange. It's so weird because the government can keep printing the money and give to the public, and then if they now they print 1,000 and then
Yeah.
give you 1,000, how about next year they do 2,000? And then the next year that they do 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. Then what the economics will look like?
Yeah.
Even though there's an inflation, but is the inflation real? And then how can the business, how can the consumer, how can employee stay and strategize their movement in this kind of environment? If you know someone will always give you the money,
Yeah.
what will you do? Right? And
Yes.
if you know this guy give everyone the same money, yeah. And then if we do nothing, if everyone do nothing,
Yeah.
they also can give you the money. It's something like print out the thin air. And then it didn't actually stimulate the real economy. It's just manipulating number.
Yeah.
And you intend to use this fake number to manipulate the real economic activity. Is it possible? Possible. There's a possibility. No doubt there's a possibility. But now a lot of people start to realize this, and then they want to escape from this rat race. And then what will be the end story? Oh, what will be the end of the story? Really don't know. And we also talk about hyperinflation in the past, and why hyperinflation occurred is actually loss of trust of the government. Yeah, if you lose the trust of this government, and you lose the trust of the currency, from the country, and then you don't want to hold the currency,
Mm.
you hold the domestic currency, and you want to sell the domestic currency and then buy another country currency,
Yeah.
and then it could become a hyperinflation because the demand of the supply, a lot of supply and no demand.
Mm.
The value
Yeah.
of the currency drop a lot, but the price still have the intrinsic value. For example, the food allow you to eat, the accommodations allow you to stay. It
Mm.
has intrinsic value. It's not like the money. Beside of replacing the toilet paper, it don't have any intrinsic value. Yeah,
Mm.
and no people will use the paper money to wipe to wipe their ass because
Mm.
the feeling is not good. Yeah. So conclusion is paper money has zero intrinsic value, and it actually like our like many countries they use plastic to they use plastic to make the paper money, right?
Mm. Yep. Yep.
So mm, yeah, but plastic can stay more than 100 years or more than 1,000 years, and is it? I'm not sure. Yeah. So quote unquote, it has a store of value. It can hold its existence.
Mm.
But the point is, no people trust this currency anymore. So the value drop dramatically, and then
Yeah.
maybe in the country, the public will start to use other countries' currency to do the trade.
Mm.
So yeah, the hyperinflation is not actually about the economy. It's actually about the currency.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really don't know how it could be happens. And then this is not only one country problem. You look at Malaysia,
Mm.
it's also the same. And also because of this pandemic, I realized that if the government couldn't control well, then we will have one problem, which is the decline of one generation. We may have this problem.
Mm.
Or I should say the falling of one generation, which is
Yeah.
you see the education nowadays. Many students they are not able to access the education system. They
Mm.
are not able to learn something, and then everything delayed.
Yeah.
And then after 5 years or after 10 years, the problem will arise, and you can see the problem.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I think this is the root cause. The
Mm.
root cause is in the real economy.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have anything to add in?
Yeah, no.
Okay, so that's all for our today conversations. How do you feel? Did you enjoy the conversations? Please tell us what you think of our conversation. And we are not native speakers. If you found any vocabulary mistake that we made, please also comment to let us know, because we want to learn more and improve ourselves. Remember to like and subscribe to us. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.